In terms of the run of form, obviously you won't need reminding, but 5 defeats now in a row, 4 in the Premier League. What is the key thing that needs to change to turn that form around?
It's concentration. I think that we've just had costly moments within games. You know, if I analyse the games that we've had since the turn of the year, we've against Aston Villa and Tottenham, we had 2 games there where we won really well and showed our level and showed our concentration level, played well. There's 2 games that we lost that I feel we deserved to lose. The Arsenal game, we deserved to lose. And Manchester United, after a good start, we had 1 or 2 costly moments in that, and then it ends up the game runs away from us. So we deserve to lose that. But we get 5 other games where we've been there in the game, playing well, and maybe not taking opportunities. And of those 5 games, I think we're talking about Fulham and Forest and Southampton, Brighton, and Chelsea. We've taken 1 point from those 5 games. And when I analyse us and see us play, there's lots of really good moments. But then there's moments in the games which are costing us. So, and for me, it's not about the capability, because the players have that capability. It's not about the knowledge, because they do the job and you can see them doing it well. It's just concentration. And the minute you switch off at this level and it's not 100%, then you'll get punished, and that's what happens.
In terms of the chances that perhaps you're missing in those key moments in games, is that maybe the pressure telling a bit on players? Is it confidence?
No, listen, it can be a little bit of everything. I think you always want to create the opportunities, but of course, if we can take them, then that is important. I think the key thing is not making mistakes that allows teams confident in the game. Like we, as I said recently, away at Southampton, we were really, really good in the game. We created opportunities, didn't take them, but then a few mistakes cost us, and then we don't get back into the game through scoring goals. So I just think if we can really brush up on that, we're under no illusions of the task. It's, we've now got 12 games left and competing in virtually a 9-team league now with 12 games to go, and we want to finish at the top of that. So if we can just increase our concentration level, because like I said, I repeat, there's lots of really good moments in the games, but we have to see those through, and if we can do that, then we'll pick up the points.
You talked there about that kind of 9-team league. It is so close, and there are so many teams that could still go down this season. Have you ever known a relegation battle like that? And are you having sleepless nights over your position within that?
No. Listen, it's a great coaching challenge. It's a position that, like I said, there's a lot of points to play for. We get 36 points that we're playing for ourselves. So there's more than enough there to put us into a really good position in the league when it finishes. But we just got to concentrate on the performance. We want to win games, but it's going to be a performance and the concentration within that performance that will get us the points. Because like I said, there's one thing I really believe in the players. They've shown, like I said, in some of those games that I mentioned, that it's playing at the highest level all the time, and when they do that, then we look a good team. But you have to really be concentrated in order to do that.
Have you set yourself a points target?
No.
And in terms of coming into this international break, how important is it that you try and get something positive out of this game against Brentford to go into that international break in a positive mindset?
Yeah, very much so. I think that's always wherever you are in the league, I think coming into an international break, where there is a period in between, it's always good to, if you can go into that with a positive result and performance. So that's what we'll aim to do.
How key will this international break be in terms of, obviously you won't have all your players here, but with the ones that you have got, with the work you can do to really spend some time out on the training pitch?
Yeah, listen, it's not always about that. Sometimes it's about allowing the players to recover mentally. I think that, like you say, you will probably have a number of players away. So in terms of the synchronization of everything, that probably doesn't really take place to the second week. But I think it's really important. It's been a tough season for us up until now in terms of consistency. There'll be also about allowing that freshness, because we know when we come back, then it'll be the foot to the floor all the way through to the end. So I want to ensure the players are mentally fresh, the staff is fresh as well, and we can make a push for it, as well as doing some really important work.
In terms of the work you've been doing this week, how much does dealing with Ivan Toney come in to that? He scored again midweek. He's behind Harry Kane, England's second highest scorer. How much of a challenge is that, and how impressed have you been with him this season?
Yeah, I've been really impressed. I've been really impressed with him and with the team itself. What I really enjoy watching about Brentford is they haven't been affected yet by the Premier League. And what I'm saying is that sometimes when you're in the Premier League for a period of time, you stop doing the basics of the game well, like running and fighting and getting tight to people. This is a team that come up out of the Championship and are still hungry for that. So they do the basics of the game really well, and with good organisation and with talent. They've had a very, very good season. Ivan, as you say, he's been fantastic. You see that he's grown since he's come in, has that confidence, he has the technical quality, but he's a street player also. He's aggressive, he's strong, and he's an outstanding player. So we have to be ready for the team, because they get some other good players, and then we collectively have to go and play well as a team to get the result.
Thanks, Brendan.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, Rob. Hi, Brendan.
Okay, Rob.
For Johnny, is it a bit of a setback that he's had since the weekend?
Yeah.
To what extent?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully not too long. Hopefully for the weekend, if not after that.
You talked about concentration. How do you like to train concentration into your team?
Well, that's something that you train it every day in terms of your exercises and your repetition work. But clearly, it's something that under pressure is something that's totally different. So I think for us, it's always about focusing on what is really important. And doing the basics of our game well, and and then of course it's concentration is also around decision making. So we do lots of work based around making decisions in training, and normally trying to help educate on the right ones.
In those pressurised moments when concentration has been key, who do you look to on the pitch to maintain those standards and to keep everyone switching on and to stop, I guess, that butterfly effect of a chance and then a goal being conceded?
Yeah, listen, it's a responsibility of everyone. It's not just one player. Of course, you have players on the field that are your tactical decision makers, but it's a responsibility of every player on there to maintain the concentration, to keep the team from being passive, keeping it organised, and there's everyone has that responsibility.
Brentford, one of the best at exploiting teams who maybe switch off a bit, the way they succeed through set pieces and hit on the counter attack and, like you say, do the basics right.
Yeah, I think they do it really, really well. Really strong, like you say, in set pieces. General game is good. Played out of different systems as well. Thomas has predominantly played out of 4-3-3 most of the season, maybe against some of the bigger teams. They've switched the structure, but in the main, they've had a cohesive group over the last few years. They've added to that without losing anyone, and then the players have grown from within that and added quality. So yeah, and obviously playing at home has been really good for them. There's still that great enthusiasm you can tell with the support and that connection because of arriving into the Premier League, and they've done very, very well.
The rewards for 3 points in terms of league position could be huge, actually, and especially going into the international break for you. If you create the amount of chances that you do, or you did, against Chelsea, will you be hugely satisfied? Yeah.
I think in the last few games, those key moments that are important in games, you have to be clinical and be able to take them. So, but it's also the other side of that, being strong defensively and in those moments of pressure, just staying calm. But we feel we can create opportunities, And it's just giving that balance to the game, that if you're not, then you got to ensure that you're not giving so much away.
Just finally from me, you said it's been a tough season mentally for the players and for your staff as well, I'm sure, and the whole club. In the international break, how will you try and switch off for a few days? In the past, I think Loch Lomond, you played a bit of golf for your coaching staff. Do you have any thoughts as to what you might do?
We'll give the players and that are here and some of the staff that chance to reset. Because, as I said, it's been a challenging season, and that's always important in long, hard seasons. And then, but at the same time, we'll get some good work done, and welcome the boys back, hopefully from international break, free of injury, and then we'll get a real run of games that as I said, we can look forward to.
Excellent.
Good man, thank you.
Cheers, Rob. We'll go to Shamim from BBC.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi.
You mentioned Brentford still doing the basics like running and fighting. Do you see that from your side at the moment?
Yeah, no, I don't think that's within question. I think the players have given everything. Clearly, obviously, maybe not at the height of our confidence, but I think the players have given everything. I think the frustration is that in those costly moments, maybe when we do switch off for that moment or don't quite get into position, then we've got punished for it. So, but the players are a really, really good, honest group of players. You know, it's my job in this because it's always easy under positive circumstances to stay upbeat as a leader, but it's staying positive with them in this moment as well, when it has been a tough moment. And we've shown before that we can come through that. But like I say, it's just nailing some of the main principles of our game: fighting, running, working, but also good organisation. And if you cut out the mistakes, then of course that gives you a really good chance to win games.
Yourself personally and the club are usually used to battling at the right end of the table. Now, how does the pressure differ now you're looking the other way?
Yeah, it's certainly much better towards the top end, but you have to earn that right to be there, and we haven't this season. We haven't been anywhere near consistent enough. But it's a great challenge from a coaching perspective and from a player's perspective. You know, you're playing under pressure, and it's been able to deal with that, and it's something that I'm confident we can do.
And how disappointing or demoralising does it become when you have to reassess the targets that you might have set at the start of the season, not looking up, but looking the other way?
No, listen, our objective is very clear. You know, it's to ensure we gain enough points to stay in the league. There's no tiptoeing around it. We've got 12 games to go. We haven't been consistent enough, and we haven't taken enough points and been good enough to do that. But so now we have to really narrow the focus in and be clear on what it is we want to achieve. And the goal is very simple: is make sure we get enough points to stay in the league.
And have you spoken to players about that? Are they all on board to achieve that aim now?
Yeah.
So we'll go to Owen from Radio Leicester.
Make sure the mic's on. Hi, Brendan. Hope you're okay.
Hi, on.
The England squad is out at 2:00. I wonder whether you are able to tell us as to whether James Maddison is in that squad at all.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. No.
2:00.
Okay.
What time is it? Sorry, on. I can't read into the future.
Okay, I'll move on then.
Good lad.
You used a three at the back formation on Saturday against Chelsea at times, sometimes in a back five as well. I wonder whether that's something we might be able to see more of between now and the end of the season, or whether that was specifically chosen to match up with Chelsea.
We had one winger available, and that was the reason why we did that. But I think you've known me in my time here. You have to be flexible in your system. I've always said that. You know, that flexibility is so important in the modern game. You know, like I said about Brentford as an example, I've played 4-3-3 a lot of this season. And but in certain games they'll play with a 3-5-2. So you have to have that flexibility. But it will always be dependent on the personnel as well. So we had to make that adjustment last week because Harvey was injured, wasn't fit to start. him being available and Tete available gives us the options of playing 4-3-3. So, but whatever system it is, it's really about getting the performance on the field.
You said 5 wins out of the 12 remaining games left would be enough to get the amount of points that you were thinking. I wonder if those games start to trickle down when it becomes more concerning for you, or is that just a game by game, week by week thing where the concern level does rise as those kind of games kind of trickle away?
Yeah, we'll think naturally that is what would happen. But for me, it's really just staying in the moment and staying calm and just concentrate on the next game. It really is. You can't worry about the future. You can't worry about 2 weeks' time against Crystal Palace, and you just have to focus on the next game and look to gain the points that you need. So it may not even be that, it may not even be that. But as long as we do and get the numbers that we need to, then that's our focus.
I wondered, Brendan, whether I could ask you about some of the contract situations as well between now and the end of the season, because there's a number of them out of contract. Would I be okay to go through a list of them and see the latest on each one?
Can do. Can do.
First one would be Yuri Tillemans. Is that contract offer still very much on the table? Has there been any further talks?
I'm not sure that's with the club, but if I look into it, then obviously Yuri, he's towards the end of his contract, and we'll just have to see where that one goes.
Daniel Amati, you've talked about before, perhaps being...
Same. Nothing on that.
Okay. Charles Soyuncu as well?
Nothing on that.
Johnny Evans, I know you've talked about him before, about...
Nothing on that.
Okay. I feel like this is going in one way, Brendan.
Well, I suppose it's the easiest thing to say is that I know the players that will be here that the club make available at the end of the season.
Okay.
So, in terms of where they're at, there's absolutely nothing more to add on any contractual situation, which I'm sure you can appreciate as well. The position we're in and everything else. So there's nothing new to add.
Okay. One final one, because it is a bit of a tricky one. I don't know whether you'll be able to shed any light on this. Is Tete, because of being contracted to Shakhtar still. What is your understanding of what will happen, I guess, at the end of the season and where his situation lies with Shakhtar and with Leicester?
Yeah, it was purely a loan deal, and then we assess it at the end of the season and see what it looks like.